Hello, welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. Monstera Deliciosa or Swiss cheese plant. In this video, I'm going to try and discover if I can propagate some Swiss cheese plants from seed. Let me give you a bit of background. The other day, at the weekend, I visited Southport, and in Southport they have an amazing botanical gardens. And at that botanical gardens, there is a wonderful old Victorian fernery. I did do a video on the fernery, and you can see that on my channel. I'll put a link to that video at the end of this one. Anyway, whilst I was walking around that fernery, I noticed they had two incredible Monstera Deliciosa Swiss cheese plants. And on the label, incidentally, it said, "The fruit of the Monstera Deliciosa is delicious to eat when ripe." Now, I already knew that because Monstera Deliciosa gets its name from the fact that it has monstrous leaves and the fruits are delicious, Monstera Deliciosa. However, one of those plants was fruiting, and I will show you a little picture now of the fruit of the Monstera Deliciosa whilst I'm talking to you. The point being, whilst I was there, I noticed that there was a second fruit on that plant which had dried up. It had gone over and dried up, and it was starting to break up. And as I was handling it, a small piece of it came off in my hand and happened to drop into my pocket. And it's in this little bowl here. Now, I've had it soaking. It was very dry and like a piece of cork, very light. So I decided to soak it in this little bowl of water, and it's been soaking for about an hour. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take that little piece of fruit and peel it apart using these two skewers, and hopefully we will find some seeds, because generally fruit has seed in it. That's generally how plants spread the seeds. The fruit gets eaten and it gets taken somewhere else. Now, I'm not going to eat it, but what I am going to do is soak it and tease it apart using these little skewers. Now, I've got here a drink container. I went to a little cafe by the canal and I had a milkshake, and they served it in this little drinks container. And I thought, what a brilliant little plant propagator that would make. So I took it home and I've cleaned it. It's got a pot, it's got a lid, and it's got a hole in the lid where the straw went through, so you could quite easily water it through there and it could ventilate. So I'm going to use that as a little miniature propagator. I will put an Amazon link to these in the description box below this video, because I've seen them on Amazon. I thought, well, you know, you could even buy those to do your seedlings in, you know, if you're doing fruits and veg. So that's what I'm going to use to plant these seeds up. Now, it's been soaking, so I'll bring the camera in a little bit closer and you can see what happens when we try and tease that apart. I have had a look at it. I think there might be 5 little seeds there. Before I do that, let me just show you this. I've just bought an underwater action camera, and I want to show you this because I want to tease the fact that I'm about to do some underwater shots in my wildlife pond, getting footage of the great crested newt. So that's for my next video, just to let you know that that's what I'm up to next. But I put that to one side and let me bring the camera in close. I mean, it's going to be really straightforward, this. I'll tease these apart. I'll put some compost in this little plastic container. I'll put those on top of the compost, and then I'll sprinkle a bit more compost on top. The compost is already very moist. I'll put the lid on and I'll put it on a windowsill. Right, let's get some close-ups of these seeds as I tease them apart. So, let's start with these little skewers, starting to sort of try and tease this little bunch of what I think are seeds apart. I definitely think that there are probably 4 or 5 little seed heads in here. Whether I'm going to be successful, I am actually by stabbing them through the centre, encouraging them to sort of come apart into small pieces. So there and there would appear to be 1, 2. There's possibly another 2 here in this piece. So we'll try and go through the middle of that piece. They do. The reason I think there's 2 there is because they do seem to have sort of 2 little dots on top, which suggests to me that there might be 2 seeds. So let's go through there, yeah. They all seem to be coming apart in a similar way. and creating these little seed heads. Possibly another 3 here. So we'll just go like that and like that. And here we have, well, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seeds for a Monstera Deliciosa. Now, I have absolutely no idea whether this is going to work or not. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to have a go. And if you've watched my channel, you know that I am a have-a-go gardener. I'm quite happy to try an experiment, and I'm quite happy to fail an experiment. So let's get some compost into our little makeshift terrarium or propagator. And now let's very carefully see if we can get these seeds on top of that soil. I'm going to have to use my fingers because it's a bit fiddly otherwise. So there's 1, and in it goes on that side. There's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, and 2 in the middle, 7. Now, I don't know what the requirement is, but I'm going to take a chance on the fact that they need covering slightly with a little bit of moist compost. What's nice about this is, I suppose, if they do develop roots, we might be able to see them coming through at the edge. So let's just give that a bit of a tamp down so that there's contact, damp contact with the damp soil. We'll probably just spill a little bit more water on top. Give it another little tap down. That will become an airtight system virtually. I know there is a hole in the top, but that's not going to let too much of that moisture out. And that now can go on a window ledge in a warm, light place. And of course, should you want to be updated on this little experiment, then do hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. Have you ever tried this before? Have you ever propagated Monstera Deliciosa from seed? If you have, let me know. And if you're supposed to do anything different to what I've just done, put it in the comments box below so that other subscribers can benefit from your knowledge. Let's see how this goes. I'll give you an update as soon as I see anything happening, or at the very latest in a month's time. See you soon for some more Monstera Deliciosa Swiss Cheese Plant propagation adventures. Bye for now.